Most families say we should really record these stories someday. But someday has a bad habit of turning into never. I've been reading the Oral History Workshop, and the main message is simple. You do not need to be a professional historian to preserve someone's life story, but you do need a plan. And today, I'm going to share the biggest takeaways from the book so you can start recording your family stories before they disappear. Welcome to Save Their Stories, where we help families preserve the voices, memories, and wisdom of the people they love. Today, I'm talking about the book, The Oral History Workshop, Collect and Celebrate the Life Stories of Your Family and Friends by Cynthia Hart and Lisa Samson. This is a practical book for anyone who wants to interview parents, grandparents, relatives, friends, or loved ones and turn those conversations into something meaningful. Now, this video is not a replacement for the book. Think of it more like a guided overview from someone who works in oral history and family storytelling. Here are the main points I think every family should take from it. Point 1, do not wait until everything is perfect. One of the biggest lessons from this book is that oral history can feel overwhelming. People think they need the perfect equipment, the perfect questions, the perfect setting, and the perfect family plan. But the truth is, the most important step is getting started. The simple recording with the phone is better than a perfect interview that never happens. The goal is not to create a museum exhibit on day one. The goal is to capture a real voice, a real memory, and a real moment. Because once someone is gone, the stories they carried can go with them. Point 2, preparation matters more than fancy gear. Before you press record, you need to prepare. That means thinking about who you are interviewing, what parts of their life you want to explore, and what kind of memories you hope to preserve. You do not want to walk in cold and say, "So, tell me about your life." That is like handing someone a shovel and asking them to dig up the entire backyard. Instead, prepare a few focused areas: childhood, family traditions, work, marriage, parenting, military service, faith, hard seasons, lessons learned. The better your preparation, the easier it is for the person being interviewed to relax and open up. Point 3, good oral history is not interrogation, it is listening. This is one of the most important reminders. An interview is not just a list of questions. It is a conversation. You are not there to perform. You are not there to impress them with how many questions you wrote down. You are there to listen. Sometimes the best follow-up question is, "Can you tell me more about that?" Or, "What was that like for you?" Maybe, "How did that change you?" The deeper stories usually come after the first answer. The first answer gives you the facts. The second answer gives you the meaning. That is where the gold is. Point 4, the best questions are open-ended. If you ask, "Did you like growing up there?" the person can say yes or no. That might be accurate, but it does not give you much of a story. A better question is, "What was it like growing up in that neighborhood?" Or, "What do you remember most about the house you grew up in?" Or, "Who made you feel safe when you were young?" Open-ended questions give people room to remember. And sometimes the smallest question opens the biggest door. The question about a kitchen table can lead to a story about family, food, hardship, humor, and love. That is why oral history is so powerful. You are not just collecting information, you are preserving presence. Point 5, pay attention to the person's energy. A lot of families make the mistake of trying to record everything in one sitting. But people get tired. especially older relatives. And when people get tired, the quality of the conversation changes. They may give shorter answers. They may lose focus. They may start to feel like they are being put through a final exam. To watch their energy is important. Take breaks. Keep the first session manageable. Sometimes a strong 30-minute interview is better than a 2-hour interview where everyone is exhausted by the end. This should feel like, ready? A meaningful conversation, not jury duty with a microphone. Okay? Point 6. Video and audio both have value. The book talks about recording choices, and this is something every family should think through. Audio is simple, less intimidating, and easier to set up. Video captures facial expressions, gestures, pauses, smiles, and emotion. For family history, I usually think video is incredibly valuable because future generations do not just want the words, they want the person. They want to see how grandpa smiled after answering. They want to hear mom laugh. They want to notice the way someone's eyes changed when they remembered something important. But do not let video become the reason you delay. If video feels too complicated, don't worry. Start with audio. The best format is the one you will actually use. Point 7. Preservation is part of the project. Recording the interview is not the finish line. It is the beginning of the archive. After the interview, you need to think about where the file will live, how it will be named, who will have access to it, and how your family will find it later. Because a recording buried on an old phone is not really preserved. It is just hiding. Create a simple system. Name the file clearly, back it up, add the date, and the name of the person interviewed. Write a short summary of what was discussed. That way, the story does not become digital spaghetti. It becomes part of your family's memory bank. Point 8. The final, you guys read it. Yeah. The final product does not have to be complicated. One thing I appreciate about the Oral History Workshop is that it encourages people to turn these interviews into something meaningful. That could be a transcript, a scrapbook, a short family video, a printed booklet, a private family archive, a collection of clips, or even a simple folder that says Grandma's Stories. Do not let the final product intimidate you. Start small, record one person, preserve one conversation, save one story. That one story may become priceless to someone in your family later. Okay, question of the day. Who is the first person in your family you know you need to interview? Drop their relationship in the comments. Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, cousin, family friend, and let that be your public commitment to start. If you want to check out the Oral History Workshop, I'll leave the link in the description. And if you want help starting your own family story archive, subscribe to Save Their Stories. I share practical guides, interview tips, and simple systems to help you preserve the voices and memories your family will wish they had later. Because history is not just names and dates, it is the sound of someone's voice telling you who they were.